a question, and this is just like kind of for you guys. I brought this up to a friend of mine before, another friend that we play fantasy together. Do you think you could do a fantasy football league where the scoring came directly from something like Pro Football Focus? You don't actually get points for their on-field production, but you
basically
get
like
points.
the analytics.
Yeah. Do you think, like, because then at that point, then drafting somebody like George Kittle would be much higher than drafting somebody like Travis Kelce, whereas Kittle's, like, his blocking would give him a much higher PFF grade over Kelce, who's mainly a receiving threat. But do you think you could do a fantasy football league like that? Because I think that would be, like, I'd want to do it for free the first year just to kind of fill it out, but I think that could be actually really neat.
Physically, yes,
you could do it,
happen,
yeah.
But it's not possible at this moment because no one's made that, and I'm not technologically enough savvy to make that happen. But that would be fun. I think me and you had that conversation at one point too, Casey. We talked about everything fantasy.
That's true because, yeah, I sat at your house for the entire lockdown of COVID, so we talked about a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Weird how that happens.
Yeah.
He was scared to leave.
I could definitely see it. I could definitely see it happening. Yeah, like PFF. I'm surprised they don't have it yet. I mean, because it'd be such a different. What's the word I'm looking for? Such a different experience.
Yeah, and I don't. And I've said this before on this show. I don't necessarily agree with the stuff that PFF throws out there. But if they're going to use those grades and it's universally accepted, I mean, a lot of people. I mean, the NFL guys that talk on Twitter, they talk about all this stuff. I mean, if it's going to be out there, you might as well use it anyway. I think it could be cool. I think it could be a cool concept for a different league anyway. Because
the only problem with that,
go ahead.
The only problem I have with that is that, like, say some average Joe out there plays 5 snaps a game, but he grades really high. Like, that's kind of shit.
Yeah, halfway through you saying that, I was thinking, what if somebody gets hurt in the second quarter?
Yeah.
Their first quarter and a half was really, really good, and their PFF grade is an 86. But they give you 22 snaps, you know? So, I mean,
maybe you'd have to do it. You'd have to almost do it per quarter, maybe? Like, or like, production per game. Like, if say they go, 10 for 12 for 150 yards and a touchdown. And then you'd have to, like, they get a really good grade, obviously. But if you'd have to somehow account for the fact that they didn't produce up to, like, what a normal game is.
So what if you took the average number of plays in an NFL game and used that as your standard and then divided it by their PFF grade or something like that?
Or what you could do, and this is kind of a play off of that, you could take the total number of snaps for that game, and whatever the percentage that they play is the percentage of the PFF grade, the points that they get from the grade.
I agree with that. So if they play 20% of their snaps and they scored 100, they'd only get a 20.
Yeah, so you couldn't draft a backup tight end because he's a great blocker and his PFF grade would be a 75. You can't just draft him because he's only going to do 12 plays. I think that could possibly work, but I don't know. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts, but I do think that would be a cool league. I do think that would be cool.
And the one guy that's watching us right now is, like, taking notes right now about the patent and shit.
He's about to call PFF and be like, look.
Yeah. You want to make some money?
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
What's up, guys? This is Justin with the Offensive Line Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube for more content like this clip and for viewing the full live shows.